I don't think we really knew how we were going to scale up our ideas, but our approach was to start on the ground with something small where it counts. And we built our project around this with what we had and who could help us. And it's just grown organically from there and just keeps expanding.
I strongly believe that diversity is not a challenge. It's not a communication barrier. Diversity is strength.
Everyone brings in different views and experiences of where they've come from. Maybe a challenge because we've got to work together, and then also learning in a new environment here. That could be a little bit conflicting at times, but hopefully we'll work through it.
We're here for reality studio. We conduct some studies, probably, but the real aim of the studies is to try to improve the local community in some sense with ideas.
I applied for it because I think it's important for us to work in developing countries, but at the same time I think we all have this a little bit of a conflict, internal conflict over whether we should be here. So I think it's going to be an interesting journey.
I want to understand my role as an architect, and I want to understand my role in the discussion of sustainability.
Not just to test what I know, but also to test what I don't know, and to see how to apply kind of the knowledge I have in a totally different type of project than what I'm used to.
And I would like to see that we could do something together as well, and not just go and do our individual projects.
This idea of students coming for 2 months and then leaving again, what impact can they make?
You learn a lot from being somewhere else, where you just kind of see things from a different perspective, and maybe where things tend to be more extreme than they are in Sweden. It's very exciting and exhausting, and a lot of things to digest. And now it's all starting to rain, which is also nice.
Yes, I met the students when I went to wash my car in that evening when they came to the lecture. So I had a joke. It's a very nice joke between the two nice ladies and the two nice guys. Yeah, a joke of good combination. Yeah.
At first, I was a bit unsure with what I was going to work with. I know we are here for academic purposes, but it's really deep down, it's not for academic purposes because we want to influence lives.
I must admit I'm a bit lost at the moment.
We have the set themes of marketplaces and ecotourism, but I think there's a lot of scope to work inside that or outside. So, yeah, I'm not feeling constrained, but maybe that's just me.
I would like to do something within ecotourism.
When I came here, I knew that I really wanted to work with my hands to build something, and I really liked the idea of prototyping.
I was also, before we arrived, very interested in doing first and thinking later.
I would like to do a project with an already planned project with an organization, because I really want something to happen and not just be a plan that we produce books, like reproduce stuff that's already been done before. And there are a lot of organizations that already work with kids and women, so I would just like to find one and just start there, and hopefully this will inspire others to go from there. So, yeah.
In the documents, if it's only on paper, it's also very powerful for the people to negotiate further.
I'm more interested in crafts and how to see craft as a tool, more probably for women communities to get independent, because it seems that it's a big issue here.
It would be fun to work with and interesting to work with comprehensive planning as well, but I don't know how. That would maybe be hard to do, but so I'm open for most things.
Also, the time frame that we have been given, it's a challenge, but what I always say, there's not enough time, there's not too much time. It depends on how you work. So time is never a factor. You have to just work with what is there.
Comes from paper to practical.
We went to a location yesterday where it was really interesting potential for organic farming, so that could be a really good project, and the organisation that's with.
I like it because we come to the people, which is very not popular right now probably, you know? People don't go to the grassroots.
My name is Simon Peter Otieno. I'm the manager of Make Me Smile Kenya, a program that began in the year 2008. Make Me Smile works with the children, that is vulnerable children, called Orphans and Vulnerable Children, in short OVC. We bought this land as Make Me Smile for the main reason of sustainability, sustaining our program. Up to some point that the idea changed to establishing an agricultural institution where we could teach the youths and the community about organic farming. At some point we also thought of establishing a rescue center where children can be rescued. My visitors appreciated the values that the land had, including a river, a flowing river, the forest.
As an architect, I think I can do something in 1 month to start the organic farm, the facilities and the techniques that I've learned before, and I'm pretty sure I have a lot to learn as well here.
We started by planting fruit trees. That day we planted 125 fruit trees. Our objective as Make Me Smile is to share ideas, to interact, to share knowledge, and to do anything that is required to protect the environment, to change the lives of the vulnerable.
The first time we visited, 2 small kids were following us, hiding behind bushes. They held a distance, so it was a distance in the beginning, yes it was, and all the neighbors around as well, coming out, standing, looking, and the women as well. But I didn't think it would be so big, like from these 2 kids to 45 kids. dancing and singing and, like you say, all the different activities with the kids, with the adults, and knowledge sharing.
At first, when the visitors promised to come and stay here in the bush, in the forest, I was wondering if they would really do it. But deep in them, they really had the passion. And I saw in them that it was possible, yes. And this one, I believe it's in the power of society. It's the power of culture. Culture is learned. You get into one community, you learn how they do it, and you respect one another's culture. Then always man is a social animal.
We wanted to start this process of organic farming and the permaculture thinking, and then also to make the site livable for future volunteers to live on the site.
And that's how we connected with the themes of the reality studio.
Because it's
with this
ecotourism and voluntourism.
It's about us going into their reality, but the immersion means it becomes our reality as well. And the big thing there was, I think for us, we didn't really truly understand and appreciate their reality until we went and lived on the site. And that's why it's so important for the site to be livable for future volunteers. Maybe it was the way that it started. In our heads they were kind of just workers, and we didn't really understand that they were all family and they all knew each other. And then it was only through slowly building a relationship that they actually said, no, did you know Taliban's really good at roofing? Like maybe he should do the roof. And then it was, I think at those point, maybe a week or two in, that it really started to sink home that we should actually give them as much power to make decisions as we had. And then I think that was the changing point. It was the day when we did the briefing in the morning, and we said we explained what we're going to do, and then we gave everybody responsibilities, and they had as much responsibility as us. And that was really the point where I think they took ownership of the process.
First of all, we did what is called water harvesting.
We have released in the trial and how we can treat water and the methods to be used.
I wasn't in a classroom anymore. I was in this village in Kenya, mixing concrete in a wheelbarrow and then vibrating it with a stick. And I was trying to remember all the useful and all the useless things I ever learned about concrete, and to figure out how I can use this knowledge in this context.
Especially with the limited resources that we
have. So it requires a lot of improvisation. It feels like they're much more innovative in this way. They're used to making the maximum kind of change with the minimal resources.
It's a whole thing about cultural understanding. What is work? For us, work is something we don't like and we do for money. But for them, it's about a necessity. And doing what they need to around the house is a necessity.
We didn't bring the European ideal so much. It was a community work. The music going on, the jokes going on, and everything.
We had to improvise because it rained, but then that became an asset because we would sit with the guys and talk. Or we had to deal with the children, so then it was about having games and it became fun. So it's sort of a balancing act between getting things done and then also building relationships.
Maybe tourism as a factor has this two worlds meeting, and I think that's where the action happens, maybe. Probably where the thinking happens. People can learn to accept each other, probably. Yeah.
Yes, it has been wonderful. It has been a wonderful relation between the Mzungu and the Africa. I wish the whole world could be like this, where people live irrespective of their culture, irrespective of their color, irrespective of their religion. I mean, it's really a good show, and this is where the world should be heading to. Yeah.
You are there at the rooftop, you're giving me the sketch of what should happen. Yeah, it was really nice to see it, to see the sketch. Not even the sketch, the real thing on the ground. Yeah. So it's really nice. Yeah. But we need not to leave it by the day of your flight. We need to inspire the locals to go ahead.
This was just a good foundation to start building something bigger. And I also hope that more women will also come and be more involved and take part of it.
Yeah.
Because we missed it a bit. But I think through the kids, we have a bright future.
I really love the children. They're the seedlings for the future generation. Yeah.
That would make me smile that maybe they saw the site as an opportunity for it to be a refuge or for something for outsiders. I think it's a lot more obvious that it shouldn't just be for other people to come in, but it should be, the new land should be for the people from around there as well.
Yeah, I never thought I could stay here. I never thought it can be this good, but since you guys came, you made us learn that really it's possible and you can make it, and I want to give it a try.
If you think like vulnerable children, what do they need? They need a safe environment with care, and that's what the community offers. It offers both. It was very much about giving Team Rarudi the stage. Somebody needs to carry on the idea, and that's an opportunity for them to take ownership of the idea and step up on the stage.
Students are going back, but the skills remain here. For the empowerment of the community, the country itself, and I can say the country at large.
We have been working together as brothers and sisters. I would like to say a word of thanks to all the students from Sweden.
I think the project has far exceeded the expectations that we had, and I think for us it was a project, but it's become so much more than that. It's become about you guys. Like, it was more than the physical things that we've done that's been the most powerful, I think, for us. It's the relationships and the knowledge and the moments that you just share, those small moments.
I also want to say thank you to everybody, each one of you. I will try not to be emotional, but yeah, you all have a special place in my heart, and I think we all agree on that, and the kids.
As you are going, think about us, yes, because there are so many things we need from you, and also there are so many things we can give you also.
It did become our reality, and yeah, in many ways I think we miss it. the beginning at least, maybe students think it's about what can we do for them, what can we teach them, what can we offer them. But it should be also about seeing that there's the other option of it coming back. What can they teach us? And that's one thing. I think they can teach us to be better people, to be more social animals.
But it will come.
Yes.
Yeah, it will come like the Martin Luther King's dream.
So do you think...
Stop. Okay, go on with that. Yes. Yeah, it's nice.
Excellent.
Come.